Should I do it? Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to call the order the August 16th meeting of the Planning Commission. Commissioner Manette, would you please lead us in prayer of allegiance?
I pledge allegiance. Oh, there's no flag. So I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It's a virtual flag.
You know what happened when I asked you, right?
I just waved my hand and it was gone.
That's it.
I do pledge allegiance to the Constitution of the State of California and the United States of America.
Okay, if this is public forum, this is an opportunity for the public to address the commission on items of interest to the public that are not listed on the agenda. Because of restrictions imposed by the Brown Act, the commission may not engage in discussion nor take action on matters not described in the agenda. Please observe the time limit of 3 minutes. Does anyone want to talk at public forum? All right. No
Chair
one-
Kistner, excuse me, can you please call roll call prior to the
Oh, I'm sorry.
public forum?
Roll call, please. Sorry.
Oh, well, she was waiting
We
for
were waiting.
Tracy. Perfect.
We're just having roll call. Tracy didn't miss much. And we didn't have a flag to pledge to either, so.
Commissioner Parker,
Present.
Commissioner Monette,
Here.
Commissioner Sweeney, Vice Chair Koberstein,
Here.
Chair Kistner.
Here, I think. All right, the next thing is the consent items.
I need to recuse myself from the consent items, but since there's no discussion, I will stay in the room unless somebody wants me to go out.
Okay.
And the reason I'm recusing myself is that one of the items is in my neighborhood.
And I would like to make a notation that I think I closed the meeting last week, not Commissioner Parker. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes? With that,
So moved. Just the minutes or the whole consent?
whole consent calendar.
Yeah. Okay, so moved.
Do I hear a second? Roll call, please.
Vice Chair Koberstein,
Yes.
Commissioner Sweeney, Commissioner Monette,
Yes.
Commissioner Parker,
Yes.
Chair Kistner.
Yes. All right, the next item is a public hearing, and it's a lot line adjustment, demolition permit and design review at 1242 and 1252 Allen Avenue. May I have a staff report, please?
Thank you, Chair Kistner. The project before you tonight is a lot line adjustment, demolition, and design review application. The project proposes to relocate the existing property line between 1242 and 1252 Allen Avenue, moving the property line approximately 1 foot in favor of 1252. Demolition of the existing 900 square foot home located on 1242 Allen, and construction of a new approximately 3,000 square foot home on 1242 Allen. As mentioned, the project site is 2 parcels, but only 1242 is actually proposing for development. The 1252 is just slightly affected by the lot line adjustment. Both sites are approximately a quarter acre in size. The project was previously reviewed by the Planning Commission in on June 7th. After reviewing that presentation, holding the public hearing, the item was continued for redesign, and at that time the Planning Commission requested that the applicant relocate the garage. Previously the garage was the closest element of the home to the street. The Planning Commission asked that the garage be relocated, essentially pushing it back from the plane of the home and the street. And then also the Planning Commission requested that the front plane of the home move closer to Allen, more in keeping with the historic setbacks and design of the neighborhood. And one commissioner voiced some concerns over the side setbacks, although that was not a unanimous direction from the commission. The applicant responded by relocating the garage to the rear of the property, so completely separating it from the home and detaching it. And you can see along the upper portion of the exhibit there, it shows the driveway access with the rear garage indicated along the northern, or what is northern on the site plan, corner of the property. They also moved the front plane of the home approximately 14 feet closer to Allen Avenue, resulting in a 20-foot setback, which is the minimum required. And then they did slightly increase the setback on the northern side of the property to 12 feet at the ground level, although it does have a slight bump out of the second floor. So staff finds that the proposed design modifications implement the direction provided by the Planning Commission in their last review, and no new issues were created or identified by staff with the revisions. 3 letters were received commenting on the proposed project, and those are attached to the staff report. One of them was in support, generally supportive of the proposal. One expressed concern over the loss of the historic home, and the final letter expressed some concerns over the massing of the project, while also making some design suggestions that would mitigate those concerns. It's worth noting that the redesign has implemented some of those design suggestions. The only issue that staff identified through review of the project is actually one that was created by staff. Typically, a lot line adjustment is reviewed at the staff level, and action is subsequently noticed to the surrounding properties and presented to the commission in case the commission wants to review that. Staff has combined the process and brought the whole project before the commission, essentially just streamline the process. That was the goal. So with that, staff is recommending that the commission determine the project exempt from CEQA and accept the required findings and approve the lot line adjustment, design review, and demolition to allow the relocation of the property line between 1242 and 1252 Allen Avenue, demolition of the existing home, and construction of the new home at 1242 Allen Avenue in the medium density zoning district. That
Thank
concludes
you.
my presentation.
Does anyone have any questions of staff? With that, I'll ask the applicant. Would the applicant, is he here and would she like to speak?
Hello, good evening. Is this on? Yeah. My name is Karen Clore, and I work for Joseph Farrell. Unfortunately, he couldn't be here tonight. Oh, thank you. So I'll be here on his behalf to present to you the redesign of the project, the proposed project at 1242 Allen Avenue. And thank you for your time in listening to what we have redesigned for the project. As you heard, the garage was the first part of the home that we had to redesign. We moved it from the front of the house, and it's now back at the rear of the property. It's a detached structure, much like other homes in the neighborhood. And it is 4 feet on the setback from each of the property lines. So this item was redesigned to address what your concern was. The second redesign of the home was to relocate it closer to the street. It has been moved approximately 14 feet closer to Allen Avenue, and so the front plane now is in line with other homes in the neighborhood. And it's true, one commissioner did have some concern about the height of the second story, and we did redesign it. So it has a lower wall height, which now makes the gable in the front and the back 10 inches lower. We also reduced the width of the home on the northern part of the house, so that you can now have 12 feet setback instead of 10 feet. This also minimizes the appearance of the mass for the project. And also, Joe wanted me to reiterate that the second story was designed so that the minimizing the impervious surfaces in the backyard. This will provide an increased landscape area and also provide site drainage retention. So the second story fulfills that. And we've lowered the roof and brought in reduced the the width of the building, so it's a little less massive. I mean, it's not too big. Hopefully we have addressed your concerns adequately, and we can move forward. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
I have a question for her.
And public comment first.
Okay.
Is there any public comment on this item? Public comment is closed. Okay, Bobby, if you have a question.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I'm wondering, I appreciate the efforts to make it smaller. I'm wondering, so the square footage of this project has been reduced? Is that what that means?
Slightly, yeah.
So what is the current square footage as
2 feet.
opposed to what,
Sure.
3,028?
3,092.
And what was it before? I can't remember. Okay,
Let's see here.
can't remember.
95.
Oh, so it's three square feet. Is
3
it-
square feet?
Was reduced 3 square feet?
Oh.
Is that?
It says in our book that it's actually 3,028 is the current.
Oh, I'm so sorry. You know, my dyslexia here, maybe. Yeah, so it was 2 feet less along the northern side,
Right.
and 2 feet times maybe, what is this?
Well, it says 3,000, 20, because that's, I see, but that's what it is now. And the last one was 3,092, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, what I have identified based on the analysis is that the project is currently proposing 3,095 square feet, and the previous design.
You were right, wait a second.
Sorry,
I think
it's
the
about 50
previous-
square feet smaller. But let me look at my numbers.
I'm just reading from the construction of the new 3,020.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's
Yeah, 3,028 is what's
Now.
proposed now, and it was 3,095, which is I
Okay.
misspoke in my presentation.
Okay.
Any more questions? Tracy, would you like to start the discussion? Please?
Sure. I was not at the June 7th meeting. I had a work conflict. But from my understanding and watching the tapes, I think you've complied with all of the reasonable requests that were put out there, and I would support where we are today, and I think it's a beautiful looking home, and it will fit nicely in that neighborhood.
Thank you.
Mary?
Yeah, I agree. I really appreciate your efforts to listen to what we had to say the last time. I think that the revised design is much more in keeping with the character of the neighborhood, and I appreciate your willingness to do that.
Sarah?
I have nothing to add other. I agree with my fellow commissioners.
Well, I really do appreciate the changes you made too, but it's a difference of 69 square feet, and I went over in that neighborhood, and I still think, I agree with the authors of one of the letters. The houses around it are 24 to 30 feet wide, and this one is 51 feet. Now maybe it's 49 feet. I don't know if you, but it just seems too big. There aren't other two-story houses too. I'm in a minority here on the commission, but I couldn't find the findings number 3, 5, and 8, and in particular. The finding that has to do with future development in the area. These big houses on small lots, I just really don't think fit in with the neighborhood. And I looked at the other houses there, and they're big lots with smaller houses, and they're lovely, and they have lots of space around them. And I think it's too big, and so I'm still not happy with, with the size of it. It seems like it's too much. It seems too much for that area. So I just can't support it because I don't want to support big, massive buildings on lots in the town, because I think we have made that a priority and talked about not doing that, and we continue to do it. So I don't want to do it. But I do appreciate your efforts, and I doubt that what I want will be realized here, but I just want to put that out.
And my comments are that I appreciate your efforts, and I like the design. I like I like the storyboard that you brought. I love the colors. I think it's going to be a nice addition to the neighborhood. So I'm going to see if we have a motion here. Go ahead.
Yeah, to me, this case is a little different than some that we've had because of both sort of the angle of the street, which puts the houses kind of in a different relationship to each other. And actually, there's a lot of different sized parcels here. Like on the other side of the street, they're all quite narrow. And the parcels kind of wrap around the corner from Spring. So I don't see quite the disjoint in this that we, have felt we had maybe in some other cases. And I actually think by bringing down the height and taking that garage out, it sort of changed the whole appearance of the mass from the street, in my mind.
I can appreciate what you're saying. When I went by there yesterday, I was just noticing that the almost all the houses around it are much smaller, and they don't fill up the lot so much, and we're just filling up the lots so much. But I appreciate your comment.
Do I have a motion?
I move to determine that the project is exempt from the requirements of CEQA as a Class 1 and Class 3 categorical exemption pursuant to Section 15301, which exempts the demolition of single-family homes and accessory structures, and Section 15303, which exempts the construction or conversion of small structures, including single-family residence, garages, pools, etc., and also accept the required findings and approve the lot line adjustment, design review, and demolition to allow the relocation of the existing northern property line between 1242 and 1252 Allen Avenue, approximately 1 foot to the south, demolition of the existing 900 square foot home on 1242 Allen, and construction of a new 3,028 square foot home at 1242 Allen Avenue in the medium density residential zoning district.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
It's a long motion.
Commissioner Parker,
Yes.
Vice Chair Koberstein,
Yes.
Commissioner Sweeney,
Yes.
Commissioner Monette,
No.
Chair Kistner.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Our next item is a demolition permit and design review for 1530 Allen Avenue. May I have a staff report, please?
Yes, thank you, Chair Kistner. The applicant is seeking demolition permit and design review approval in order to remodel and enlarge an existing 3-bedroom, 2.5-bathroom, 2-story single-family residence at 1530 Allen Avenue. This remodel would add approximately 519 square feet, 292 of which is on the first floor and 227 of which is on the second floor, in order to reconfigure the living space. Numerous interior walls, the back-covered porch, and several bay windows would be removed in order to accommodate the interior remodel and additions. These additions would include a small room towards the front of the house on the first floor, in addition to the rear of the home on both floors. The height of the existing home will remain unchanged at approximately 28 feet. The remodeled home would be finished with horizontal wood siding and a sanding seam metal roof. No new bedrooms or bathrooms are being proposed, and no changes are proposed to the existing garage and second unit. As far as floor area ratio is concerned, the proposed project would be 232 square feet below the maximum allowed for a FAR of 0.277. The municipal code requires a side yard setback of 15 feet for structures of the maximum height greater than 25 feet, as the current side yard setbacks are approximately 10 feet on one side and 13 feet on the other. The home is considered legal nonconforming. As such, the proposed additions are required to be set back 15 feet from the property line. The project would not add any square footage into required setbacks and would therefore not increase the degree of nonconformity. The project as proposed is below the maximum gross floor area permitted and meets all other requirements of the medium density residential zone, including lot size, building size, setbacks, and height. Staff finds that the proposed configuration of the site, the overall design elements, and proposed materials and finishes are in character with the neighborhood and the community in general. Because of this, staff concludes that design review findings can be made and recommends that the Planning Commission accept the required findings and grant demolition permit and design review approval for the proposed remodel and expansion of the residence located at 1530 Allen Avenue. And I would be happy to answer any questions you may have at this time.
Any questions? Would the applicant like to speak? Microphone, please.
Good evening. I'm Sasha Yanev, architect of the record. At this time, we really don't have any comments. I think the proposed drawings speak for themselves, but we would like to give opportunity to answer any of your questions.
Thank you. I'd like to open public comment. Is there any public comment? Close public comment. Does anyone have any comments here? Would you like to open the discussion, Bobby?
Sure. This seems like a perfectly good idea to me. I would never have thought of it, but it doesn't seem to be, it doesn't pose any controversial inroads into any, into the neighbor's view or whatever. It doesn't seem to affect anything except your plans, and I'm sure it's going to improve your living situation. And since it doesn't seem to hurt anyone else or impose on anyone in any way, I totally support it. I'm really happy for you.
Commissioner Parker?
Oh, I'm in support of the project. I think it's a beautiful plan. I remember when the house was originally built.
I agree. I don't think there's much more to add.
I agree.
And so do I. So may I have a roll call? May I have a motion, please?
I move that we determine that the project is exempt from the requirements of CEQA pursuant to Section 15301, which exempts demolition of existing structures, minor alterations and additions to existing private structures, and Section 15303, which exempts the construction of conversion of small structures, including single-family residences, garages, pools, etc., and that we accept the required findings and grant demolition permit and design review approval for the proposed remodel and expansion for the residence located at 1530 Allen Avenue.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Monette,
Yes.
Vice Chair Koberstein,
Yes.
Commissioner Sweeney,
Yes.
Commissioner Parker,
Yes.
Chair Kistner.
Yes. That was item 7. So we just scheduled matters now? Or did I miss one?
There's an administrative determination and then scheduled matters.
Item 8 is an administrative determination that a proposal to revise previously approved sidings and roofing at 1703 Madrona is consistent with Planning Commission approved design review.
Thank you, Chair. Before you is an administrative determination that a proposal from the property owners of 1703 Madrona Avenue is consistent with the previous Planning Commission approval of design review on August 6, 2013. That design review approval incorporated standing seam metal roof and stucco siding. The applicants have since revised their project to incorporate shingles, composition shingles, and proposing board and batten siding. Typically, a lot of minor modifications can be approved by the planning director. However, this project, the current staff wasn't around for this project, and there was numerous elements. There were some lot line adjustments and whatnot, and so staff wanted to just bring this one forward for the commission in case there were any concerns that staff was not aware of during the discussion. There was nothing identified in the staff report based on staff's analysis, but it was just trying to bring it forward in kind of a full transparency effort. But generally, minor modifications such as material changes are approved at the staff level and are not risen to the level of an administrative determination. But just given the history on this one and the lack of knowledge of the history on staff's part, we brought this forward. Staff has determined that it's consistent with the approval and has approved the determination. Just wanted to let the commission know.
Thank you. It's time for the departmental report.
Yes. So we are fully trying to get the general plan response to comments going. We've initiated, we've identified all the comments from the general plan EIR, and we're beginning to craft responses to those. You'll see in your packet is the tentative Planning Commission agenda. Staff didn't get a chance to update it since the July 28th meeting. However, just wanted to identify that there was some ongoing work that's currently underway Staff will be bringing the update to the growth management ordinance or it's not really an update, it's a informational update to the council in September as is required. Depending on the direction received there, the council could provide direction to staff to explore some policy changes with that. If they do, of course, that'll be brought before the commission for their review and input. However, staff is not proposing any significant changes to the growth management ordinance. Interestingly, the ordinance, as I've stated previously to the commission and to council when we did the last update, it identifies that building permits or allocations for building permits are issued on January 1st, which is impossible as it's a city holiday. So staff does have a version, if the council sees fit, that they could choose to amend it just to make it more workable and actually take that out. However, staff will leave that to the council's discretion. Given the state of the general plan and the discussions for housing citywide, the council could recommend to just put any changes on hold and kind of revisit that in the future. We'll see what the council does, but if they provide direction for any policy changes, obviously that'll come before the commission as a recommendation. But staff is just required to present an update on the growth management to the council every September as a part of the annual calendar. So you'll see that on this. Similarly, as requested by the commission, at the next meeting, staff will be bringing forward a discussion item, which is study session number 7 on the general plan, to discuss our town St. Helena's comments regarding increasing the density on, is it Rio Vista Court? Monte Vista, I'm sorry. On the Monte Vista Court, so that will be, as requested by the commission, a discussion item for the study session. And so there's a...
Is that our town or I thought that was not. I thought.
Oh,
that
I'm
was,
sorry.
Yes.
I think it is Mary Stevenson speaking as a citizen, not as a representative of our town. Thank you very much for the clarity. But so that will be on the agenda for the next meeting for the commission to discuss. Other than that, we are moving forward, trying to keep up with the applications while also getting the kind of the bigger advanced planning stuff moving as well.
Can I ask a question? I had a request from the public to ask you when you were going to put on when you were going to comment on an update on the Hunter project.
Oh, I can also bring an update on the Hunter project because we are anticipating issuance of the EIR for public review and comment probably in September. So that's moving along. Last time I know I think said we were expecting that to happen in April. So
Right.
obviously that did not happen, but I can definitely bring an update, and I do believe it will be posted for public review and comment in September.